So, Beauty and the Beast, am I right? No one's going to respond. I'm on myself. Beauty and the Beast is directed by Bill Condon, known for such gems as the last two Twilight movies and Mr. Holmes. You know, that movie that you didn't see. And stars Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Kevin Kline, Luke Evans, and Ewan McGregor as Lumiere, which I honestly didn't know until I watched the credits, and it made it 10 times better. Anyways, Beauty and the Beast is the tale of a beautiful woman named Belle who thinks she's better than everyone else. When her father is kidnapped by a man cursed to look like a monster until he can love again, she will take her father's place and proceed to fall in love with the beast who kidnapped her father, locked her in a castle, and threatened to starve her, just because he has a nice library and he's kind of sweet sometimes. You know, the tale as old as time, apparently. Anyways, on with the review. First of all, we'll start with start with the positive space, because this is a positive space, and until it isn't. Positives. First of all, the movie as a whole is very enjoyable. I enjoyed watching this movie. It's a good movie. I can tell you going into this, I didn't think it was going to be a good movie, honestly, because the reviews going into it were quite poor. Well, not quite poor, but they were on the poor side. And I also really disagree with the whole idea that we should be like translating the animated films into live action now, like Disney's doing, because I just don't see the point. Is that supposed to make them better or something? I just don't get the point. They're there. They're movies. Leave them. I just don't get it. And especially with this one, this is a classic, so I was a little wary about that. But actually, they did a pretty good job. They added to it. They didn't. It's not just a straight retelling, so I enjoyed that. Anyways, on with the positives. The energy and camera work. Every single shot had movement in it, and I really enjoyed that. It really kept the energy up, and everything felt moving, and it was very kinetic, and I really enjoyed that. And some of the camera work is actually quite unique in the fact that like a character will be singing, and then it'll pan or zoom away from her, and like zoom across the countryside through some trees, and now we're on to like another character. And it was really cool when like it flows like that. It's really neat, and it's really, as I said, kinetic and really cool like that. The acting. First of all, the standout of this movie is easily Ewan McGregor as Lumiere. I didn't even know it was Ewan McGregor, as I said, but he is so funny. He lights up the screen, no pun intended, every time he's on there. He's fantastic. I also really enjoyed Dan Stevens as the Beast. Even his performance was great, but even the motion capture was great because you can see him in the character, but not so much that it pulls you out of the movie. Just enough for you to be like, oh yeah, it's Dan Stevens. Kevin Kline was fantastic. Luke Evans was suitably over the top and hilarious. Also, I forgive me for the background noise. At the moment, I'm recording this in a basement, and it's there's a washer dryer going on, and you can probably hear it. So I'm sorry. What else? Emma Watson. I thought she was, I'll go into that in another section. You'll see. The singing, everything was fantastic. Dan Stevens has a great voice. I didn't know that, because all I know him from is Downton Abbey, and he was excellent in this. Especially, there's a new song that they composed for this movie called, what is it? I can tell you in a moment, actually, if my Spotify will work. Evermore by Dan Stevens. Check that out. It's actually a surprisingly good song. I really enjoyed it. And it was surprising for me to find out that wasn't in the original, because I haven't seen the original for like a decade. But it's actually a really good song. And moving off of that, new songs. They were all pretty good, except for one, which I'll go into in another section. And the score as a whole, even the orchestral bits, like the non-singing parts, everything had a really nice energy to it, and a nice vibe and feel, and I really enjoyed it. Alright, on to the negatives. The pacing. There were issues with pacing in this movie. As I said earlier, everything really flows. That is except for like 4 or 5 moments where they decided for some reason to fade to black and then come in another place, and those areas really were like quite jarring and really stood out, especially because the rest of the movie is so fluid. So that was a bit of an issue, and that really pulled me out and kind of annoyed me. Also, there were a couple moments in the singing, especially with Emma Watson, that sounded rather auto-tuned, and especially with this kind of movie, I would prefer that they just let her voice be there, even if it's not great. I'd prefer to hear her natural voice than auto-tune, because you could tell that some of the notes were. Also, I saw this movie in 3D, and I would suggest you don't, because it seemed like there were specific moments in the movie just to justify a 3D release. Like, there's a snowball thrown at some point that lingers far too long in the air, just so you can have a cool 3D snowball, and, like, there are plates and rocks and random stuff that, like, falls directly into the screen. And, when it happens once or twice, fine, it's a cool moment, but it happened, like, 4 or 5 times in this movie, and it really got on my nerves, because I'm like, okay, yes, I get it. It's 3D. It's cool. Alright, great. This isn't, like, 2009. Stop. So that was that. And then the biggest gripe I had with this movie is that they added something to it. I will not spoil it because it's a spoiler in the movie, I guess, because it's revealed like 2/3 through. But they added a thing that wasn't in the original that actually made no sense logically, and it didn't. I'll go into spoilers briefly at the end of this, and I'll talk about that. But it really got on my nerves. It really pulled me out of it. It made no sense. Anyways, onto the meh. Emma Watson. She was playing Hermione. She was literally just playing Hermione. She was feisty and she likes books. Those are her only two character traits, so she's less developed than Hermione. Like, I like Hermione as a character, but that I'm starting to wonder if that's all Emma Watson knows how to play. Like, she's a great actress. She, like, from what I've seen her in, even in this, she is a good actress for the part. It just kind of annoyed me that she's basically playing Hermione. And that kind of, I don't know, it's hard to see her as anything else, I guess. But especially when she's playing a character so similar to it, all you can see is Hermione and Dan Stevens. Anyways, before I go into spoilers, I guess the ratings. So we are going to give this our second, maybe, I don't know. This will be an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. And, of course, with the pretentiousness scale, the pretentiousness scale, we will be giving it a movie out of whatever. Anyways, on with spoilers, I guess. So, if you have seen the movie, stick around. If you haven't seen the movie, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy your day. Have a good one. Anyway, spoilers. Okay. They had this weird, like, section where they time travel into, like, Emma Watson's past, or is it her mind? I don't know. But it was jarring, it was stupid, and of all things, it didn't make any sense. Because she was talking about how she remembers, like, Paris, I guess, but she shouldn't, because she was an infant. You can't remember stuff when you're an infant, so I don't understand what Emma Watson was, or what Belle was talking about. It made no sense. I really disliked it, and it dragged the movie down, like, a lot, in my estimations. And it's surprising I'm giving it this high of a rating, to be honest, because that really, like, annoyed me and took me out of it, and that kind of ruined the middle of the movie for me. Anyways, that's it for the review today. You can find us on iTunes and SoundCloud, and you can find Will at WilbrickStudios, you can find Patrick at the GrandpaBatman, you can find Jahill at, Jahill? Maybe? I don't know his channel name. And you can find me right here at Film and Stuff. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, leave us a comment, tell us what movies we should review in the upcoming future. Go check out some of our other videos. We host weekly podcasts, the It's a Trap podcast and It's a Rap podcast, hosted by us and Ben J of our channel, respectively. Anyhow, just go check him out if you feel like it. If not, I don't care. I don't know you. Or I do. Maybe I do. I don't know. Anyways, okay, yeah, this is done. Alright, bye guys.